Ground in London, home of Chelsea, who today are playing host to Liverpool. And if Liverpool, 18 times English champions, are to challenge for this season's title, they need to start closing the gap on the contenders above them. A win today would certainly enhance their prospects, but they were meeting a Chelsea team gradually making an impression of their own in the top half of the table. The commentary comes from Ian Dart.
And as you can see, wearing number 20, the player-manager Glenn Hoddle selecting himself for the first time since March. And Mark Stein, last year's key striker, is back on the bench after an ankle injury, his first involvement since last year's cup final. David Rocastle is back in the side after a 3-match absence, so no places for Anthony Barnes or Craig Burley. Interestingly, the midfield player Eddie Newton has been switched to right back today. Liverpool's side has changed very little all season. It's been pretty settled, but Ian Rush, missing last week on duty with Wales, returns to the side for his 602nd appearance. Steve McManaman and Rob Jones are still out injured, the two England internationals, so there's a chance in the starting lineup for the first time this season for the exciting winger Mark Walters, who came on a substitute last week against Crystal Palace and played very well. His selection means that Nigel Clough is back on the bench and Steve Harkness drops to substitute as well. Thomas. Redknapp. The furious pace continues. That was a poor ball by Barnes. What can Chelsea make of it? Furlong, Wise, gets the shot in. James off the inside of the post. What a remarkable escape for Liverpool. Well, David James, he can see the funny side of it now because Chelsea didn't score, but he misread that here. All from the mistake by Barnes in the first place. Furlong wide, Wise's shot, and what was David James thinking about there? It swerved a bit, but his positioning seemed strange, to put it mildly. He somehow made the save with the assistance of the post. Rush in the air, that's great control by Fowler. The 19-year-old pushes it into the path of Redknapp, who elects to take the corner. I was just wondering if he might have kept that in play. Big defenders arrive as Redknapp slips over against the advertising board. Here's his corner kick, and out it comes to Walters. Oh, and Carney with a splendid save, low to his right hand. Walters was looking for the slide rule finish and must have thought he'd got that right. Out it came to him, aimed for the corner. Karine, who couldn't have seen it too clearly, did very, very well. Johnson. This is Wise. Now Spackman. Hoddle, sublime touch. Minto. Oh, and then the header from Wise. Well, that was really good from Chelsea. And it was out of context with a lot of what we've seen already. Just watch this touch from Glenn Hoddle in here. Look at this. Brilliant. And then when the cross comes in, Wise is a long way off target with his header. Rush's shot is charged down. Newton clears Chelsea's lines. Furlong trying to break onto this. He's got plenty of pace and power, and the shot was a good one from Paul Furlong. James beats it away. This was the run by Paul Furlong that unsettled the Liverpool defence. He got hold of this well. That's a fine save by James. Now, here is Mark Stein to get a 20-minute run out. The first appearance for Chelsea since last season's FA Cup final. Replaces David Rocastle. There'll be a bit of reorganisation. Maybe Peacock will drop a little bit deeper. 14 goals last year. He scored 2 penalties in a reserve match the other day against Spurs to show his well-being. Hoddle does well. Finds Scott Minto. Wise with the header! And what a good header that was too. It was behind him. He had to jackknife, but he very, very nearly directed this on target. Minto's cross, and look at this from Wise. Really difficult skill that, and he really tried so hard to make it work. Tough battle this, played in a passionate atmosphere at Stamford Bridge, but there are no goals to give you. Glenn Hoddle, pretty good game on his return to the side. Dennis Wise hit the post. David James had to make one or two important saves, including that one that he did palm onto the post in rather bizarre fashion from Dennis Wise. Karin, who made a very, very good save indeed from Mark Walters in the first half. It got a bit better in the second half. Wise finishes it with an injury, but we have a final score here that will keep Liverpool in 5th place and doesn't do too much for Chelsea either. It's Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0.